Hello, welcome back to IT Landy Nugget courses. This is basically in reference to containers and DevOps. So this time will be hands-on, and we spoke earlier about containers, what they are, design, architecture, requirement. Now we will be building, and the abstract and objective will be a POC delivering multi-tenant using AKS, Docker container, and Linux node. You will be able to deploy Docker-based application and scale them up to, with Azure Container Service and Kubernetes orchestration. In addition, creating and run Docker application, deploy AKS, implement load balancer discovery, scale your application. Now, what we will have the exercises divided into few sessions, you know. So we will start with requirement. First of all, we will do like creating resource group, creating Windows 10, install bash on the Ubuntu, create SSH, create build agent, connect securely to the build agent, and then create basically the service principal, then create container, and then install the AZ commandlet, and that will be the Kubernetes CLI as well. So first thing is we do the prereq, then we will start the exercise with building the environment. There are some tools from Microsoft you can download. It's available publicly, like this is a starter file. Then exercise 2, we will basically create and run Docker application, test the application, enable the browsing, create Dockerfile, create Docker image, run containerized application, setup environment, push image. Then we start deploying the solution into the container, do the tunneling, deploy the services, and explore instance logs, test the application. And then 4, we will be scale up the application, increase surface instance from Kubernetes dashboard, increase surface, restart, set up load balancing, scale up, add CPU, and the last part is basically creating public load balancer, scale up, upload the surface support, adjust CPU, and finally is performing a rolling update. So these are the basically the objective here, and without further to do, we will go one by one. Okay, so again, first we will do the pre-req. You will create an Azure resource group to hold most of your resource that you create in this hands-on lab. The approach will make it easier to clean up later on. Yeah, you will be instructed to create new resources in the group during the remaining exercises. Okay, so first, uh, navigate to the browser to portal.azure.com, select create resource, navigate to the bar at the left, search to the market space or marketplace or at the top for a resource group, and then on the resource group blade, you can set the following parameters. Yeah, something like fab medical suffix as shown on the screenshot below. It's up to you, whatever name you want to use. Give it a name, select a region, and select your subscription. Okay, and then click create. So this is the first prereq, which is a resource group. Next, when this complete, resource group will be listed in Azure portal. Then you need to create a VM similar to the previous one. Uh, search for the Windows VM. Yep. Uh, again, we will basically work with the Linux we said earlier. So search for that through the bar for the image, and then something like that. Yeah. Select the Windows when you search for it. Give it a name. Provide type, username again, password. Whatever you want to put password. I put 123. confirm the password, select the subscription, location, regions, and then assuming you are happy with all of these, then you click create. Yeah. Um, Before the creation, maybe we need to talk about the size as well. So this is like name, disk, username, password, and location, and then select that. I don't know, whatever you like. It's a lab, so you can basically select DS2 standard, okay, and then create the VM basically. Yeah. So if you noticed, we are just doing basic we need here. We don't need something like massive. Uh, there are some, if you know with MSDN, you can get even the like some free like allowance from Microsoft. And as I said earlier, all this information are available on the Microsoft website publicly. You can do exactly that. Plenty of examples on spinning VMs, users groups, even exercises like that, all available on the Microsoft website. And yeah, it can be utilized. I think they give you Microsoft like $300 when you subscribe with the developers, I think subscription or allowance. It's called the basic. Next, after we're creating the VM, we need to said earlier we will basically install the PreReq. So we got the VM, it has been created. You can just go to the overview, browse to your VM, it's up and running, make sure it's up and running. I think we saw there West Europe, you can choose whatever you want to host your VM. Yeah. Then you can basically RDP to the VM and then complete the steps to establish RDP session. Yeah. Uh, that was task number 2. Okay. Uh, how to RDP to the VM? You need to make sure your IP address is whitelisted on the NSG. Otherwise, you won't be able to RDP. Yeah. So you go to NSG, Network Security Group on the VM, and you open the right port, for the RDP from source IP address, which is yours, to the target, which is the VM. Do not just like open it publicly, internet. Yeah. It has to be from your source IP address. And how do you know your IP address? You can just go to Google or what is my IP? Make sure it is secure. Otherwise, if you're going to do this activity, you're going to open it to the internet. Yeah. And you might get attacked by, people calling themselves hackers or whatever. So make sure you secure it. Yeah. At least. Now, exercise 3. We will be installing a bash on Ubuntu on Windows. If you are using Windows 10 development machine, follow these steps. For Mac, ignore these steps since you will be using terminal for all the command basically. Yeah. So Mac, if you're a Mac user, you can just use the terminal, you know that, assuming. If you are a Windows user, then yes, we do this one. You need to enable WSL to complete this activity. Instruction on doing that, it's on the link. So what shall we do? This is basically like enabling Hyper-V and other stuff, yeah, on it. Okay. The link I put for you on the doc from Microsoft, how to install WSL on Windows 10. You can just click on it, docs.microsoft.com, and then you can navigate to it. Now, what we need to do in this section, we're going to create SSH key to securely access our VM, okay, which we need for the later on exercises. So open the WSL command window, which means it's a bash on Ubuntu on a Windows. So on your Windows machine, you go Ubuntu, and you can open this one, or or you can basically utilize the command itself like this. Trusted Microsoft Store application. From command line, you can enter the following command to ensure that directory of the SSH key is created. You can ignore any errors you see in the output. First, make directory.ssh. From the command line, you can enter the following command to generate SSH key pair. You can replace admin with your preferred name. So SSH key generation /t RSA strength 2048 and the name at domain abc.com. This information you'll be asked to enter when you generate it. Enter passphrase when you promote and don't forget it because you will need it. If you entered SSH domain, the file will be generated in the SSH folder, which is the primary by default. Keep this WSL window open and remain the default directory for task 5 when we create the agent. That's all what I have for you for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.